Good morning. It is time for Empire Talks Back right here on KCAA Radio, the Empire News Network, brought to you by the West Side Story newspaper. And Empire Talks Back is weekly, but not week, but weekly, every Sunday morning. But you can pick us up anytime you want to on iHeart and any of the other places that give you access to podcasts. Simply ask for Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. I'm here to remind you, folks, don't drink the Kool-Aid. The world is trying to tell you that it's about time to be nasty. It's about time to be rude. It's about time. Listen, don't drink the Kool-Aid. It is always proper to be proper and extend the best of yourself to the rest of us. That's what we're looking forward to. Have to acknowledge that there are many people who are not on the planet today that were here yesterday or last week, and I acknowledge those deaths and sympathize with those people who are near and dear. Here in the Inland Empire, we lost Beverly Earl. I just need to take a moment and salute that young lady for all of the great work she's done and the thousands of people that she's personally helped prior to her exit from this place. Beverly, this show is dedicated to you. Help me out. We have an opportunity to speak with Miss Dorothy Moore. We spoke with her a couple of weeks ago regarding Juneteenth, that holiday that is actually a representation of a 2.5-year wait from the time the Emancipation Proclamation was made to the time that the last possible harvest was made by some of the folks in Texas. General Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, which is interesting because Galveston is an island. I don't know. So they made to talk to you. Dolores, you can tell me about that part of it. Dolores, how are you this morning? I know you're down in the
I'm fine. Wallace, thank you again for inviting me onto the program. I greatly appreciate you. The Riverside Juneteenth Celebration Foundation Incorporated greatly appreciates your giving us the opportunity to reach an even wider audience so that people will know about Juneteenth and its significance and why it is so important to celebrate the emancipation of Africans from slavery.
There is a question that's not really a great question, but we talk about General Granger riding into Galveston, and Galveston is an island, so I guess we need to redescribe that at some point. Another quick question to you, Dolores, as I will be speaking to members of the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee, and I'll ask them this question too. We had a quick takeout of Juneteenth materials ice cream that was supposedly being sold at Walmart, and they took it off the shelf because somebody complained about commercializing Juneteenth. If you have time, would you give me a quick, how do you feel about commercializing Juneteenth?
Yes, I agree with them taking it off the shelf because they had flavors that I never even heard of. So what were they making that out of? And in this time when we're supposed to be more health conscious, we can't be putting all kinds of chemicals in our bodies just because it looks like or it tastes like ice cream or whatever else they may be putting out on the market.
Beyond that specific product,
I think Juneteenth should be more of a spiritual awakening rather than the promotion of some nondescript ice cream.
Disregarding that particular product, my question is, do you think Juneteenth should be commercialized?
I'm sorry?
I mean, how about T-shirts? How about other items that people use to commercialize things like New Year's, President's Day, Martin Luther King, Christmas, Kwanzaa? Do you think Juneteenth should be included in that, or should it be set aside as some?
Yes, because then more people would be aware of the holiday and the significance of the celebration.
By commercializing it or not?
Not so much commercializing it, but just being able to have platforms where we can go on television. Our historians can be able to expose people to the various reasons for Juneteenth, especially in this climate of the times when people are saying that we are trying to overtake their history, when we're only trying to tell the true history of this country, and we're trying to get people to understand that we need to be inclusive and not be separated and overlooked, because we have been overlooked and separated for far too long.
Very good. So Juneteenth is probably just a reminder that to have 4th of July, you really have to have a Juneteenth, because the 4th of July without Juneteenth is an extension of it's an extension of a lie. So that's my statement. That's how I feel about it. I want to thank you for keeping us updated. Once again, your Juneteenth that you present with the virtual Juneteenth. And now
yes, this year it's virtual. They can go to our website, which is JuneteenthSocal.org. That's JUNTEENTHSOL.org, and they will have the information for the YouTube video, which they can watch it anytime. Even though we would like for you to watch it on the 19th of June, we can watch it at any time because it will be on YouTube and also on Facebook.
Available for folks to know that freedom is something that takes place every day because you have to earn it every day. So hopefully you'll see it June 19th, but if you don't, you'll see it. That's why it's virtual. Thank you for your contribution, ma'am. Enjoy your experience in Georgia. I hope you voted 10 times while you were there. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Dolores.
Okay.
This is Empire Talks Back. We're going to take this short break. We'll be back and talk with the co-chairs of the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee.
If you've ever been held down. KCAA.
Californians have worked really hard to beat COVID-19 by doing the things we know work best, like getting vaccinated and boosted, testing before and after travel, staying home when feeling sick, and wearing a mask when it can protect us and others. Let's continue to do our part to keep each other safer from COVID-19. When we work together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Learn more at covid19.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Okay, this is the lightning round. Category Save Our Water. Kiki from Cali, are you ready?
Woo, let's do it.
True or false? Cleaning dishes by hand uses less water than a dishwasher.
True. Oh.
Ooh, a dishwasher saves more water.
Okay.
Next, using a broom or a leaf blower instead of a hose to clean outside saves less water.
False. Oh.
Save 6 gallons per minute by not using a hose.
Oh, no way.
Test your skills and learn more water-saving tips at SaveOurWater.com. Make it your biz to take the quiz.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
We're back. I am still Wallace Allen, and I hope you guys are hanging in here. We've got a pretty sharp show for you today. We're going to end today's show with Captain Brian Jackson of United Airlines. He's going to tell us how you guys can put your kids up in the air and teach them how to fly. United Airlines has got their own school to try to teach you how to do that part. We're going to talk also to Mr. Cliff Harris. He's the candidate for San Bernardino County Sheriff. There was pause on purpose because, you know, that's a lot of responsibility. I have enough trouble sheriff in my backyard. And right now we have Ronnie Miller.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Very, very good. And we have Edwin Johnson.
Yes, sir.
You guys are here representing the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee.
Yes.
Represent. Tell me something. What's going on?
My name is Edwin Johnson, and I'm the president of San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee.
And my name is Ronnie Miller, and I'm the vice president of the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee.
And we just appreciate you having us out here today to talk about this amazing historical event that's about to take place June 18th at San Bernardino Valley College. Just to give you a little background, I've been a part of the San Bernardino. Well, it wasn't the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee; it was the diocese. So the African American diocese, we started doing this in 2014 all the way to 19, up until COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And so pretty much then when we did it, it was just like a few of us that put this together. It wasn't too many going on. I know. I think it was. It was another person that was putting it on, but when we started this, you know, I had a bigger vision for it. You know, I had a much bigger vision than what we started off with.
Let's get to what it is and where you're going. See, because the first Juneteenth that took place in San Bernardino took place on, at that time, it wasn't Martin Luther King Boulevard. There was a little park there. And we had talked, Mr. Townsend, who owned the precinct reporter, Mr. James Caesar, who was from Texas, came and talked about Juneteenth at pretty much the same time that Ms. Moore over in Riverside was talking about Juneteenth. So the history back in Texas and the people celebrating and all that, it's a great history. And the various traditions, as you speak of, range from backyard parties to big concerts and stuff. So your vision is something we'd like to hear about, but we'd also like to know exactly what's going on with the Juneteenth this year so that everybody can show up and participate. Kind of short on time today.
Okay. So I'm gonna just tell you about the vision, and then Ronnie can tell you about what we have going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So the vision for the city of San Bernardino is to have one committee, you know, with a bunch of partners that are making things happen in the city. So within our committee, we have a bunch of different organizations: Lou Productions, Sisters Making a Difference, Young Visionaries, Valley College, Knock It Off. You know, like so many different entities came together to not just have one single name, but to have one single name as a committee, which is the Juneteenth Committee. So it's not Chords, it's not Sisters Making a Difference, it's not these different entities. It's just us coming together as one, bringing our resources and making this a historical event.
It's shameful that we have to work that hard to come together as one.
Right.
And I say shameful that we have to go through all of that to realize that each and every activity that's for the community is really for the community.
Right.
So I applaud that you guys are making that a conscious effort to do that, but unconsciously, it never has happened without the joining of groups.
Right.
You know, and it never has happened without some element of leadership. Somebody making a commitment, staying up late, calling people, cajoling, and making everyone feel comfortable about their parts and what they do. So welcome to the world of event production.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where you are. Now, once again, what's going on with Juneteenth? I'm sorry, it's like a basketball game. We all know about how to do that part. We're here to see the game. Tell me about the game.
So basically, our goal for this San Bernardino Juneteenth celebration of freedom is to uplift and educate while having fun. Yeah. Right? So things that you should expect while you're out there, we have a lot of things that's taking place. We have domino tournament. It is cash prizes and trophies going up.
That tournament is properly licensed, is it? Nobody came to me. You know, I am the domino king of the world.
So you dropped
We'll have to discuss it later. I want to be sure you guys are properly licensed to do that.
We also have a classic bike and car show that's going to be actually out there as well, because you know that's going to be nice. The sidewalk chalk contest and art walk, that's also cash prizes, and also local artists can actually have their
sidewalk chalk.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
So it's live. Some people are going to be live with their artistry and everything. So we're excited about that. Spades tournament is going down as well, down in the cafeteria, and that's going to be facilitated by B. Russell and also Omar Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
We got a gaming tournament as well that's going to be having two sessions, and that's going to be facilitated by GE Entertainment, GEC Entertainment. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Mac and cheese contest is actually going down. So if you got some mac and cheese and you know you busting in the kitchen, please sign up for that because we all love mac and cheese.
We need that.
We got people that's whipping it up in the kitchen, so we definitely want you out there for that. Kids Zone to have everything in it. It's absolutely free, so it's important for you to register your kids on Eventbrite.
Dunk tanks.
Dunk tank, game truck.
Fathers reading the kids.
Dunk tank.
A dunk tank. So
A duck or dunk?
Dunk
tank.
Like drop in the water?
Yep.
Drop in the
and
water.
Who's going to be those
That's
people?
what we
I think
need.
we got to get you in there.
We need a couple of people.
I figure you
We need
want to
a
get me in.
volunteer.
We need
to
volunteers for the dunk tank. So if you out there, you want to go, you want to.
I think I have a cold. I don't know. What you dunking? Tequila?
No, not out
okay,
there.
cool,
No
cool,
low
cool.
liquor out there. Not at that.
No
not at
liquor
that
at our
party.
event.
But yeah, so we
That
have.
sounds exciting. It
we
sounds
have
like
free-
you put some things together. Now, where is this taking place?
San Bernardino Valley College.
At Valley College.
On
And
June
then-
18th.
And then we have a dope keynote speaker. Dr. Daniel Walker is going to come out and bless us. We got Gwen Rogers coming out. We got Kimberly Calvin. We got Joe Baca coming out. We got
The Senator Ochoa, she's actually going to be out as well.
we got Karen Scott coming out from First Five. Damon
Man,
Alexander.
that
Damon
So we have a
Alexander.
bunch of
exciting to sit
dignitaries
down and
coming out.
listen to all of those politicians.
Yes. And then we have live entertainment. We have live entertainment. We
Oh,
have
that
some of the
sounds
best
good.
of the best that's
That
coming
sounds
out. We have it's going to be children performing. We're going to
Right.
be adults performing, all clean, all family friendly. This is just going to be a historical event that everybody should come to.
Excellent. I make a couple of suggestions, either in your face or behind your back. One is that with the politicians, that they all turn it into a talent show. Okay, I want them to come out
That
and do
would be
something
great.
that's talent, not come out and repeat the importance of Juneteenth. That's why everybody's there.
Yep.
And I'm saying this because a boring show is a boring show, and the best way to make a show get boring is to spread the microphone around to people like me. You need to have entertainers there. You need to have
Right.
people who don't speak on the microphone often, so they can express, what is Juneteenth to them?
Right.
What is the? I love the politicians. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I need them at their place politicking. Okay, time for our break. We're going to be right back and finish up with you guys. I like what you're doing. I like your
you.
attitude.
Appreciate it.
And this is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We'll be right back and tell them a little bit more about the San Bernardino Juneteenth schedule for June 18th at San Bernardino Valley College.
KCAA Loma Linda.
As parents, we've done everything possible to protect our kids from COVID-19, from using hand sanitizers to masking up. But now we have the most important tool, vaccines. They help protect our children and the entire family. And it's okay to have questions. Ask your doctor about the COVID-19 vaccine for your child, or visit vaccinateall58.com to learn more and find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is KCAA.
We are back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, the king of dominoes, and I have determined that this group is properly licensed, not because they went through the procedure. They didn't know to call me, but their intentions are good. And all of you out there who are saying, what is he talking about being the king of dominoes? Hey, meet me at the tournament. Bring your stuff. You'll see what I'm talking about.
That's
all
what
right?
I'm saying. Let's get
Okay, we're talking about June 18th.
Right.
At San Bernardino Valley College. There's a array of activities that are going to be taking place. You went through those very well. Lou's on the phone. I think she wants to say something about the activity. Miss Lou, you there? Lou Dowdy of What It Do with Lou. She is the producer of this segment.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, what it do? You guys look wonderful. You guys look good.
Thank you.
Hey, watching you. Hi, Mr. Wallace Allen. How are you?
God is great. I'm extremely grateful, and thank you for these wonderful guests.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for always providing a platform. I just wanted to make mention for all of the listeners out there, it is imperative that you register for this free wonderful family fun experience that we're having June 18th. Mm-hmm. If you register, you will be able to get a free ticket to our community drawing, and also a scavenger hunt card, where you'll get awesome gifts along the way, which was donated by wonderful organizations and community members throughout San Bernardino County, such as a flat screen TV and gift baskets and gas cards. We all know what the price of gas. A gas card is something special these days, right or wrong?
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, yes, so I just want to make that announcement. Please register. Visit us. The event is on Facebook under the San Bernardino Juneteenth Committee celebration. So register your family and your friends. And also, if you register, you get a free snow cone for your youth, which is sponsored by First Five San Bernardino.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the
Appreciate
setup.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Lou Dowdy, What It Do with Lou. Well, see? Bye-bye. So we've got all of these great activities set up. Once again, the registration that she's requiring. So if you want to be in the Bidwitz tournament, if you want to be on the domino tournament, if you want to submit your mac and cheese.
Correct.
Yeah, is there a taster prior to the
I'm
mac
trying
and
to be
cheese?
the taster, but man, I think I'm going to be busy that.
Well, no, I'm suggesting they need a taster before they show up. 909-915-7922. I can't guarantee anything, except I will tell you the truth about your mac and cheese. Okay, 909-915-7922. All right, so how do they register for the activity?
Great question. So you'll register on our Eventbrite. So you'll go to San Bernardino Juneteenth on Eventbrite, and you can register your family for free.
Okay.
Simple. And then if you're on our Facebook page on San Bernardino, follow us on Facebook, San Bernardino Juneteenth. Our IG is Juneteenth SB. Yeah. So San Bernardino _Juneteenth on Instagram and San Bernardino Juneteenth on Facebook. We have all the information as far as registering on each tournament, because each facilitator will be taking care of their own registration.
So there will be no registration on the day of the tournament, on the day of Juneteenth?
It's possible. Come early by 11 o'clock to register for those if they have spots. So
yeah, because spots is filling up for the domino tournament.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were more than halfway full last week.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have room for celebrity poke,
right?
Who are proven domino champions.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm kind of a dominologist myself, but I'm gonna let somebody else win. I'm gonna let somebody else win that day, though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna take over everything.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about.
I ain't gonna take over everything.
And we wanted to go ahead and shout out our platinum sponsors for this event. Because of you, we actually have this event to be a great event, and everybody that got involved. So we can't name every single plus 100 people as vendors, but our platinum sponsors. So we want to say thank you to IEHP, thank you to HealthNet, thank you to ICUC, thank you to First Five San Bernardino, and also thank you to Chase. And all our other sponsors, Valley College, we want to say thank you, which is our big partner in this, as well, for hosting it
Very
at the
good.
campus.
My question to you is the same one I asked Dolores Amore. We had an incident where Walmart was scheduled to sell ice cream. Someone somehow talked them out of it. And so my question is, in general, not just the ice cream, how do you feel about commercializing Juneteenth? Selling T-shirts, having concerts.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, commercializing it is great because the word needs to get out. And like I think more people need to embrace it. Now, about the ice cream, that's something different.
Well, that's downplaying.
Well, what's different about the ice cream?
I mean, I just think, like, who told them it was okay to, like, put some ice cream out?
Who should they ask?
They should ask us what we want.
Ask you what you want and then sell that to you?
No, and then put it out there.
No, that's a little backwards. You're in America. If you want some ice cream and you see somebody selling and you don't like theirs, that's great. You know why? That means if other people agree with you, then the ice cream you make will outsell the ice cream they made. But you are not in a position, we are not in a position to tell anybody what to buy and sell. We can't even tell people to stop shooting kids in school.
Right.
True.
Okay, so we're understanding, the power of who we really are is a responsibility, not just an opportunity, because there are people watching, there are people who are waiting for leadership to take place, like leadership for the committee. Everybody wants the Juneteenth. Everybody likes the baby. Everybody want to go to heaven. Everybody don't want to die. Everybody want to have the baby. But we want to be there. And we appreciate that you're stepping up to do that. And I appreciate that whoever made the ice cream, I don't know if it was good or not. I didn't get a chance to taste it.
Yeah, they took it down.
I don't know if I was going to buy any in the first place, but it's like everything else. If you don't like what's going on, do something different.
I mean, at least Ben and Jerry's could have made it. I mean, they gave us this,
No, well, see, that's what I mean.
Great value.
Great value.
It still does not reflect,
yeah.
Something that, folks who are proud of their freedom, so I'm just one who says we should exercise our freedom to create as opposed to exercise our freedom to research and consume, or simply consume because we've been marketed to. I think if we want to make a change and make use of the freedom, we should do things to exercise the fact that we create and produce and distribute, because that's how we'll pay for our children. As long as we're consuming and taking other people's ideas as our genesis.
I like that. I like the creation part. I like that.
And that's why with the Juneteenth this year, with the committee, our most important thing is to have it as a teachable moment, right? Yes, we are doing all of the nice things and the fun things we are explaining. However, we're going to have so many amount of people out there. So our thing is having those educational seminars and having those little workshops and explaining the importance of Juneteenth and why it's important in our culture, culturally. And then for those that don't know, they have learned something today when they're out there on that celebration day.
Very, very important to understand that Juneteenth is for everyone.
Absolutely.
Juneteenth is not, when I say our, many people assume that because I'm black and we are in a racist and race-conscious world that I'm talking to black people. No, I'm talking to people with a conscience.
Absolutely.
My we includes everybody who wants to make the world a better place. And
Absolutely.
I can, I don't mind looking at the black community as a genesis for that, because the black community is the only community I see that includes a look that includes the whole world.
Absolutely.
You come to our family reunions and we got people that look like everybody, from blonde, blue-eyed Aunt Sal over to my Korean-looking and Asian-looking. And listen, we have everybody. So we're speaking to everybody. Come out, be free, make yourself be able to cut loose of the rudeness of the Kool-Aid and drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then too, lastly, I want to say too, we want to make this event to where we don't have to travel to Redlands or LA or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we want people to start coming out here to the city of San Bernardino to understand that we have great things out here too.
Part of that is to look at the calendar and realize that, so like Black History Month, as a poet in my younger day, I would only book myself on Black History if you booked me some other time as well. Okay, and Juneteenth is a freedom day, and everybody wants to hit it on the day like Christmas, and so that means automatic competition. So I say pick up Juneteenth from June 1st on all the way through the 4th of July, because that is our holiday about freedom, the freedom, and it's never too much to add on more. I want to thank you guys for being here and doing what you do. We'll see you next time, and we will be there on June 18th. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back
Meet
with
us there.
Mr. Cliff Harris.
Many things that held us down. But now
This is KCAA.
There is a lot of information out there about COVID-19 in kids, so it's important to share the facts, not the virus. While COVID-19 vaccines are new, the science behind them is based on decades of research. Clinical studies have confirmed they are safe and effective at protecting kids and the whole family. Share the facts, not the virus. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
All right, we're back. Great. That took a Juneteenth. Don't forget that freedom. And speaking of freedom, you guys are going to be free to vote on June 7th. And got a young man on the line here who would like to suggest that you consider him for San Bernardino County Sheriff. Cliff Harris, how are you this morning?
I'm okay, Wallace. How are you?
No, man, God is great. I'm extremely grateful. Sucking oxygen is one of my favorite pastimes.
That's a good idea.
Cliff, why do you want to be sheriff of San Bernardino County?
I grew up in San Bernardino, Wallace, and I'm not going to tell you my age, but not a lot has changed as far as the establishment goes. I've been hearing promises from politicians all of my adult life. I spent a long time in law enforcement. Not a lot has changed, if anything. And I'm tired of watching people of color die. And I'm not saying I can stop it completely, but I can make some changes that I feel will at least impede a lot of the things that have been going on that have caused the deaths of so many at the hands of people that don't care. And I think that with that, a lot of other things will change because the sheriff is the most powerfully elected politician in this county, or elected official in this county.
Yeah, as sheriff and coroner, am I correct?
Yes.
And the
coroner and public administrator.
Okay, and those are extreme. Tell me about the power of those positions and the obligation that goes along with being sheriff.
Well, the sheriff is in charge of public safety in the unincorporated areas, and there are 13 contract cities throughout the county that act as police departments. All of the jails, the sheriff is responsible for, and the courts, the sheriff is responsible for. The sheriff takes care of the coroner's office and takes care of the administrative end of all deaths and people's property after they pass away.
One of the things that I hear people talk about in regards to the election of the sheriff is that there seems to be an anointing of the new sheriff potentially by the old sheriff, in that the last 4 elections for sheriff have been an election where the previous sheriff retired, and upon retiring named someone to replace him interimly, and during that period of time of interim he becomes pretty much in position and accepted pretty much by the voting public as the sheriff. Not that from my perspective that they've done a terrible job as sheriff, not a great job. I see that we're still without the recruitment standards that we had spoke of at the time of Taisha Miller's death. So as a quest, there are many things that I've been involved in asking the sheriff to do that haven't been able to be done, but I respectfully say there's a smiling face in the place, and good intentions spoken of, but once again, the change has not occurred. How much effect do you think is involved with the fact that having to be the opportunity to be interim for a year, in some cases before the election, affects people's minds about electing a sheriff?
Well, first of all, when you put a guy in place after a man steps down after promising all these things to people, interim is not elected. He is exactly that, interim. And an honorable man wouldn't even want to be called an incumbent, but that's what they do. They put a man in place, and he walks around, struts around with the title of incumbent. And until I went and complained, the ROV, the Registrar of Voters, was allowing this to take place. And it's been taking place for a long time. It's tantamount to me starting on the goal line. He gets the keys to the office at the 50-yard line, and all the budgets and et cetera behind these elected officials at the Board of Supervisors goes to that person. And it's a very unfair process. There have been many articles written by many newspapers in the area called Rigged Again. And it gives the voters who aren't paying attention to what's going on a daily basis, it gives that person a leg up on any and everybody that wants to run for that particular office. And so it makes it very hard for anybody to raise money because that person captures all of the donors that are out there who are in good graces with the regime, which has been in place since Frank Bland left office. So it's been going on. Frank Bland hired me. And it's just a system that once we crack that code, we will then begin to see a turnaround. And what I hope people will realize is if we would take advantage of the golden opportunity we have right now to break that cycle, which is what it means when I say let's break the cycle, we will have the opportunity to change San Bernardino County forever to make it a more fair and equitable system when it comes to an election of the sheriff.
In terms of the sheriff's duties and how they take care of them, how they protect and serve, how they indeed do the job that they're hired to do, where would you make changes in that aspect of it as sheriff to say a change would be coming? Do you have a formula for making that change?
Well, first of all, the culture at the Sheriff's Department needs to change. They have a mentality of I've got the gun and the badge, and therefore I'm in charge, and you say as I do, as I say, not as I do. And I'm more interested in transparency. I want the public to see what goes on. I want to have more accountability. I want to have what's called community empowerment. I want the people to know what's going on because, after all, the community, the hardworking community, pays for all of those mistakes that take place in those officer-involved shootings. All of those deaths in the jail. Tax dollars pay for all of those things. When you keep an officer on a job that kills somebody, you don't discipline him or her, that's at taxpayers' expense. And sure, they don't feel it. They keep on rolling. When you have policies that don't help deal with the homelessness and the mentally ill, that affects taxpayers. When you have the system that goes from high school to the prison pipeline, that affects taxpayers. And when you don't properly take care of our seniors, of course, that affects everybody. So I do have plans to make some changes that are not going to be right off the bat. I won't walk in the door and break things. Cliff, I want to go in and see what needs to be fixed.
Cliff, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll give you a chance to finish up your rationale.
Okay.
We're going to take this short break. We'll be right back and give you a couple of minutes on the other end to tell us why we need to vote for Cliff Harris as San Bernardino County Sheriff.
This is KCAA.
Okay, this is the lightning round. Category Save Our Water. Kiki from Cali, are you ready?
Woo, let's do it.
True or false? Cleaning dishes by hand uses less water than a dishwasher.
True. Oh.
Ooh, a dishwasher saves more water.
Okay.
Next, using a broom or a leaf blower instead of a hose to clean outside saves less water.
False. Oh.
Save 6 gallons per minute by not using a hose.
Oh, no way.
Test your skills and learn more water-saving tips at SaveOurWater.com. Make it your biz to take the quiz.
There is a lot of information out there about COVID-19 and kids, so it's important to share the facts, not the virus. While COVID-19 vaccines are new, the science behind them is based on decades of research. Clinical studies have confirmed they are safe and effective at protecting kids and the whole family. Share the facts, not the virus. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
All right, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We're speaking to Mr. Cliff Harris. He is a publisher of the American News. He's been in the communication business for some time. As a communicator, one of the things that you've spoken about was being more transparent. Once you are elected, sheriff, how would you utilize your past experience in that sense, Cliff?
Well, first of all, I would like to invite citizens to sit in on some of our meetings that we have as an organization. I wouldn't want to disclose, of course, confidential information, but I don't think that we should be in a position where we can say we have so many secrets we can't allow the public in.
So you would go beyond the idea of having, say, like this police commission, citizens commissions that they have now, and actually have citizens sit in on some real meetings that the officers are having, that the department is having.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's very different.
Citizens should be able to sit in on some of our briefings, and we can cut out things that we don't need to expose or let out that are confidential things. We wouldn't talk about personnel matters in our executive meetings and things like that.
Cliff, I'm going to have to, go forward here, and thank you for the time you've given up for this moment, and suggest that even some of those meetings might operate as stings. We could invite some people. Cliff Harris, running candidate, San Bernardino County Sheriff. Look for him on your ballot, Cliff. Good luck to you. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for your commitment. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We have the opportunity to speak to someone from United Airlines, which has started a school to help make up for the fact that the world is not just creating airline pilots. It's just not creating mechanics. It's not creating those people. It's just not doing it. And when it does do it, it doesn't necessarily do it in a diverse and equitable way. And all of that's changing. We have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Brian Jackson, Captain Brian Jackson. He is the actual head pilot at the Los Angeles Airport. He's the base chief pilot at the Los Angeles International Airport for United Airlines. That's a position where he's in charge, basically, of the pilots. He's in charge of many things. But the thing that he wants to talk to us today about is the United Airlines Aviation School. It's got a special name. Brian, how are you this morning?
Doing very well, Wallace, and thank you for having me on today. And it's great to talk about United and all the great things we're doing here today at United. Wallace, if I could start off by saying we're doing great things at United, and one of the things we're most proud of is our United Aviate Academy, and that is our flight school, which we're the only major airline with a flight school here in the United States. And our goal is to train over 5,000 pilots by 2030, which at least half being women and people of color. And that is why it's so dynamic to talk about this and the things we have going on here at LAX coming up in the next couple of weeks.
That's amazing. That is the target and goal is amazing. The fact that you are able to see a void and do something about it other than complain and suggest that whoever they are, will do something in the future. You have come up at United Airlines and your associates have decided to be a we and make this happen. Tell us about your 3-week introductory to the school that you're giving to the general public here and our youngsters here in the Southern California area.
Yes, Wallace, thanks. It's been a great collaborative effort with a great group of organizations, both in the community and here at United, with obviously Los Angeles World Airport Authority, Shade the Blue Community Build, Barbosa Space Center, the Marcus Hart Foundation, and the Ontario Airport. We put together a 3-week collaborative youth camp for ages 13 to 21 taking place right here at the Los Angeles Airport with all those organizations. And what this is the goal of doing is having the opportunity for students to see there are possibilities to have goals and careers within the airline and aerospace industry. And we want to show these students that these opportunities are available from the curb to the cabin for them to join our airline and the various organizations all around. So we're going to have these 30 students in this 3-week course, June 4th June 11th and June 18th for the ages of 13 to 21. And we're going to highlight all these careers and with our different participants and highlight what they can do, how they can go about to achieve those goals, but most importantly, to show that the Aviate Academy and the Aviate program offered here at United Airlines is a dynamic academy and a way for them to get into aviation here at United Airlines.
And the particular jobs, I mean, the idea of the pilots, the mechanics, what are the job titles and activities that you're going to be able to show people, youngsters in particular, during this camp?
Excellent. We're going to show them every opportunity of every career offered here at United Airlines. For example, for myself, as being the base chief pilot here at United Airlines, we're going to offer them opportunities to see airline pilots, mechanics, customer service agents, technical operations, also the move team, which moves airplanes around. Also, further than that, we're going to look at goals and opportunities outside just the airport here at United. We're going to look at the airport fire and rescue, the police, and all those different opportunities offered at the airport to where you can have careers following high school.
There are some careers, obviously, like that of a pilot that take a little longer than other aspects of working at the airlines. I would imagine and hope that you have some activities and jobs that people could qualify quicker. I note that you have this camp for 13 to 18-year-olds. 13-year-olds anticipate, at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years before they're able to qualify. What are the 18-year-olds able to look forward to in terms of how quick they might be part of that United team?
And that's great, Wallace. That's a great question. And we're going to do this from 13 to 21-year-olds. But the great thing about it, a lot of people have this misconception, for one, Wallace, is that to be an airline pilot, you have to have a college degree. And one thing about the AVA program that United has offered, and we're going to offer this to all those participants 16 and over, the opportunity to join the AVA program. And what that does is the quickest and most direct route to a United Airlines flight deck. And how we do this, we provide the mentorship and the process along to provide those opportunities to where you can learn the certificates and gain the momentum to become an airline pilot here at United. And most importantly, United is dedicated to saying with part of the Aviate Academy, there will be no financial reason to which this cannot be attained if this is your goal.
I understand that there was a requirement, some 1,500 hours to become a pilot, and that the per hour cost was, I think you almost scared me out of my car. I think $500 or something like that an hour for.
Well, this
no, not that you're not. That's not what you're charging, but that's what you're replacing in terms of a service to your academy students. The access to get that 1,500 hours without that kind of demand, that type of price. Am I correct there, or did I lead us astray?
So, Wallace, what the Aviate Academy is doing is offering these services and offering a United type of training from the beginning, from 0 hours to until you get all the ratings that you need, at a rate that's comparable to all those out there. But most importantly, we're making sure that each person that's attending this academy has no financial barrier to achieving these goals.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I know, I was on a plane and did a stopover in Denver and ended up with a 2-hour wait because of a lack of ground crew. The industry and the ancillary aspects of it is like everybody else that's in big business, having an issue about employees and trained employees. How does that play into your desire or your determination to create access to your own employees through a training program?
That's actually great. That's one of the reasons why our organization started this conversation at the beginning. What started as a conversation to see how we could get these youth and young adults as they finish high school into aviation aerospace careers, and that's what we're doing here. By offering them the opportunity to see these different positions that are available right after high school, and can go into these high-paying career fields offered here at United Airlines. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping to grab those from the Inland Empire, those that live around LAX, and see that there is tons of talent and tons of opportunity combined together to create fabulous career opportunities and career advancement goals for these young adults, these young youth as they leave their high schools and look into what they want to do for their life.
Well, as you mentioned, the Inland Empire, we have to mention our mutual friend, Mr. Bruce Atlas, and the program that he has in Fontana. where they've actually have an airplane for the kids to take apart and to put back together, and leading them to airlines like yours. What are the chances of us duplicating this camp in the Inland Empire at Ontario Airport or even at Fontana High School? And I'm asking that because I'm greedy. The fact, I love the idea that you're doing it, but I also have to regard this as a template. You're bringing in some 30 students. That's nowhere near what you're going to need. And so, as we look at other places to be included in your quest, I'm just raising my hand and saying, here, Inland Empire, here, we would love to participate and help facilitate. So with that in mind, I say it again, wow, can we get that going out here in the Inland Empire, or can we talk about it, or is there a plan to do something like that?
And while that is a great program offered there in the Inland Empire by Bruce and his team there, and that's why we're working with those different organizations to start those conversations to see how we can bring such a great opportunity to those here in the LAX community that is being offered there in the Inland Empire.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank United Airlines for your efforts, and I want to encourage you to get as deep in it as possible, and to remind you that anything we can do to help and support here at Empire Talks Back Radio, we will indeed do it. Thank you so much, Captain. Last word. Go ahead.
Wallace, before I go, I cannot go without saying I want to make sure those that are listening know they have the opportunity to still sign up for the camp if they would like to, and they can do that by going to www.ourshadesofblue.org/East, and that's spelled EAAST, encouraging aviation and aerospace STEM training. We look forward to having all you join us, and we look forward to all those participants that are joining us next week. And Wallace, thank you for the opportunity to join your show today.
Hey, thank you for having a reason to be on the show. We appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. All right. Folks, we're had, I think, a blazing show. I think we've answered a couple of important questions, made a couple of important statements. One, I'll just say it again, don't drink the Kool-Aid, folks. There's too much good stuff going on out here for you to be rude to each other, for you to be hopeless, for you to be worried that somebody's going to replace you. Listen, the only thing that needs to be replaced are replaceables. If they're bad items, we replace them. We don't keep ancient, rotted stuff hanging around. So the idea is you freshen up, and don't be afraid. Freshening up doesn't mean getting rid of you. It simply means brushing your teeth. Nothing wrong with that part. We'll be back next week under two circumstances. I want to thank the Mood Master, Mr. Anthony Garcia, for his wonderful work. And Eric, brother, thank you so much. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. See you next week. Two circumstances. If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. God bless you. See you then.
A long way to go, where we'll end up.